All right, guys, welcome to another episode on the Highs and Lows podcast crypto segment. Funny enough, this is our episode 21.
It's
Wow.
good that we've
Amazing.
come this far.
Yeah.
With all the plenty uncertainties in crypto and
the challenges too.
because sometimes to record these events or to record this podcast with all the heartbreaks and emotional roller coaster that we are currently facing in this market,
it's crazy.
It's quite
it's crazy, but yeah, we've done
kudos
this
to us. Finally, we suppose like drink or something,
Oh.
to just celebrate the fact.
We should pop like
Episode
champagne or
21.
something.
That means it's like 21 weeks.
Yes,
right?
that we've actually
been doing this stuff.
So technically more than 21 weeks because we missed like 2 to 3 weeks.
There's a few during December. and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
but we've done this 21 times.
Yeah.
So congratulations to us, congratulations to the listeners and the viewers
and the Sasomis community.
Those
those
the
guys are
Sasomis
fantastic.
community that they have been really been amazing. So don't forget, for those that maybe this is the first time you're seeing this channel or you're watching us, we do this like every week. We drop videos and content relating to crypto, finance, investment, and some other aspects of life too. We do all of that. So please click the subscribe button, share the video, leave a comment, and tell us some stuff you want us to improve on or some things you want to hear us talk about. Yeah, now on to the markets.
Yeah, the market is messed up.
The market has just
Market is messed up.
Usually most person's expectation was once Trump is seated there, this market is going to perform wonders.
If you check in the group, the Sasomis group, somebody said Trump, be like say Trump na Buhari for white skin. Because it's to me it's like Jesus Christ, what's happening in this market?
Like
today we are hearing of tariffs. It's more like the tariff war. Like if I call your name, collect tariff. Like it's messed up.
And to an extent, the narrative is already out there that the Third World War is already live. It's going to be an economic war. It's not going to be like physical and all of these economic wars. So you see countries trying to sabotage.
I saw a post on Twitter. The lady gave 2 years, with a difference of like 100 years apart. Yeah. And she was like, "This is the 3rd year." I can't really find that post. I would have loved to share it. So she was saying these 2 previous years or these years that she highlighted,
100 years
apart, there were rate increase, tariff wars.
Yes.
And in those 2 different years, there were depressions. Like the country went into depression. That hopefully this year, this 2025, that we are now still having this whole tariff thing, hopefully we boom and not go to doom. Because this is like the 3rd time it's happening where we're having tariff wars. You get, but guy, the market is shit. Alls are dumping, projects are shutting down.
It's just
scams
crazy.
Are coming in to take the small liquidity in the market. It's a frustrating era that
especially with the recent tariff that Trump announced on China, over 45%. I think on Taiwan too, and then some other countries announced some crazy tariff, like over 40%. And the rumor now is that China would have to respond, and this might affect Apple. So the thing now is the finance market generally, not just crypto.
Not just crypto.
The finance market, the FX market,
a general thing.
Everything is just so volatile right now. Just before these tariffs, Bitcoin was trying to pump above $89,000. You get, it was about to break above 90k, which would have been some form of relief. You get, because since we went below that 90, it's just been slaughtering for alts. So only for once we got to 89k or 8900, we got those news and the whole thing crashed immediately. Like you could see a huge 8 hours candle all the way back to like 83k and testing 81, 82k again. So it's just been so volatile. The FX market too.
We've not had rest since
has
this
just been
government
something
entered.
else, especially with the JPY pairs. Like the volatility has just been something else. The only asset that has been performing so well
It's gold.
is gold.
Yeah.
Gold has just been killing it. In fact, people trading gold, they've just been milking it, making good money. Yes, even if it has been volatile too, but you could see clearly that it has been on a bullish.
Is Bitcoin not supposed to be digital gold? People not supposed to start hedging with gold.
Yeah, Bitcoin would definitely catch up. You get, because looking at indicators from previous years, most times gold makes that run first. Then in a couple of weeks or few months, Bitcoin can now start trailing it. You can now see Bitcoin do like an explosive move. So yeah, we're expecting the bulk of that to happen in this market. All right, so it's just been a roller coaster this 2025. Well, the good news is right now we're in second quarter.
Well, it depends on what you mean by the good news, because it's like yet another month. But for me, this whole market, it's different from what we used to know, right?
No doubt.
The circle, the market behavior is something else. So people are still trying to figure this whole thing out. People are still trying to at least make some money. Talking about even making money, we are seeing projects shutting down.
Yes.
Right. We got news yesterday, which was when you reached out to me. You told me about one of our tokens of interest, right?
Projects, yeah, one
project that we've been holding for years now. That
since 2022, to be precise.
Once it's heavily invested in this project, and they just made an announcement that we are shutting down. I had to go cross check if this thing April Fool on a day that is not April Fool's Day, but it's not. But so listening to what the devs has to say. And then that truly, let's just remove emotions aside from, I lost good amount of money from this. The emotional impact, the mental impact of this project shutting down, it's not the fault of the dev.
Yeah, true.
I can't blame these devs for this thing. This thing is something that we've seen on sale, and it's not even peculiar to this chain. We've seen this thing on other chains, but it's more like, see, this market is like this now. How do I survive in this kind of market? We had somebody in the group, say, since utility projects they pay, memes they put us for problem. Maybe not to just go join influencing because he believes that maybe if you go and start doing influencing, then they just pay you. You talk about the project, you don't buy it, you don't just collect payment and go and maybe do Web3 job. Some other person replied and said Web3 job na slave. So it's more like this market is something else, right? What people are now thinking of is, how do I survive? Not even how do I thrive now. It's like, how do I survive this brutality? Because people still have hope and expectation that the bull market would come, right? Alt would pump. But before this alt pump, I need to stay alive.
Till that time.
Yes, till that time. I need to stay alive. I need to figure out what exactly is going on. How do I keep myself safe before the light comes on or something like that? So it's this quarter. The hope now in this quarter is let things just get better.
It's crazy because when you look at the bear market tests everyone.
But this is not the bear market.
Every project. No, this is like a mini bear market, technically speaking. And because even in 2021 bull market, we are like mini.
But the thing is that, have we even experienced the bull market in this market?
I would say we haven't yet, though. We haven't.
So,
but then again, the bear market tests everyone. It tests every project. It tests all the founders. If your project is not strong enough in the bear market, even if it's a good project, if you don't have good traction, good revenue, it's enough to eliminate and kill that project. Even if yes, it's a fantastic project, just because of the timing and maybe the resources required to keep that project going, and also market sentiment and mindset, you get, and also encouragement, you get. We saw this happen after the last bull market, 2022. After we experienced Terra Luna crash and we saw FTX crash, that thing almost crippled the entire crypto market.
Mm-hmm.
That was why projects like platforms or companies like Binance had to come together to create a fund to support other good projects. You get, they had to come together. I think they created over a $1 billion fund where they are giving certain amounts of money to some other projects to support them, not because of those projects were not doing well, but because the market needed that positive energy at that point in time.
Yeah,
you get, people were just so demoralized after that FTX crash. It was devastating. It was no
bad,
sense,
and we are just getting into
people
the
were just
market,
people were just trying to recover. People were still struggling to recover from Terra Luna. And the whole FTX stuff. So that point where it was enough to make most persons pull out every damn thing from exchanges, because FTX was arguably the second most used exchange.
FTX was,
after Binance,
was huge.
Right? We had people with tens of millions of dollars in FTX. They had advertisements on like Super Bowl events, like a
major
whole lot.
Events. Yes.
So it was just devastating. But the crazy thing now is we're seeing a repeat now currently, but it's not as brutal.
This one might even be worse because it comes in batches, so it can even kill you better. Because it's more it's more like in January, the whole Trump family thing, memes everywhere, celebrities were just knocking those memes, massive liquidity exited the market. Then early February or so, people are trying now to recover. AI projects are now the utility projects, things are getting better. Before the end of February, DeepSeek hit. Now DeepSeek held this one has even affected both traditional finance markets. Everything is down, like really down.
With traditional
now
finance
we've not even gotten out of that one, right? We are getting news of tariff rates, this one, that one. We are still in it like this. So this one now can even kill you faster because I can't breathe. You get, when someone puts nylon on your head, you can't breathe. You're struggling. You can't breathe. And maybe he puts it, then removes it, and you're trying to recover yourself. They put a thicker one again. At some point, maybe the third or the fourth one, it might be like, oh, guy, there's no need again. You get now, because I understand what you're talking about. Projects in the bear market having resources and tenacity and good timing. This project that shut down, choccy swap, survived the bear market. They didn't need funds, right? They relied. They were building. They built something very solid. The community was with them. There was money. Everything was good. Why did they shut down? It was just technical support from the host chain. That is
not meeting up to certain
because it's more like
and functionalities.
Yes, it's more like there's no time frame. We need you guys to build this thing so that when we implement it, our users can use it. And you've told us before that, oh, don't worry, it's an MVP, right? And we are happy. We've announced it to our users that this thing is coming up so time. We've made them to even commit funds, to bridge funds and all that stuff. And then we come back to you and say, okay, what's the ETA to this thing that we requested before? It's been a while since you told us that it's in MVP. You're now telling us that, oh, that is no longer priority. So what's the time frame? Almost a month after, nothing. It's not priority anymore. You've killed my product now. I have to now go and tell my people that we can't continue like this. Right? So that's that. And it is devastating because we all know deep down, removing the fact that we lost money, that these guys had good intentions. These guys knew what they were doing. That's the choccy swap team. They knew what they were doing. They had good intentions. It is just the way sometimes that this whole blockchain thing works, that it is really, really annoying. No matter how you do your technical analysis, fundamental analysis, you do your research, you talk with the devs, you talk with key opinion leaders, something as very simple as, guy, we don't have support from our host chain. People that is supposed to give you all the support needed because they want you to grow the ecosystem. Because if let's say I'm LG, I'm making TVs, and there's this customer that buys that is telling me, oh, I know a community that they need a whole lot of TV, but this your TV, it's having issue, I need you guys to fix this thing, and you come and say, no, that's not our priority to fix it, right?
And that distributor would have lots of customers.
He has a whole lot that has probably even made down payment for that your
Yes,
TV, and
yes.
you can see that yes, this guy has collected millions, and what he needs you to do is not even something that is
just
really
a small bug fix.
huge. Yes, that other distributors too can even benefit from and market to their own users.
Yeah.
But no, because maybe you have your own
agenda, or priorities.
you frustrate him, and then as you frustrated him, he has gone back to tell his users, so see you, I can't do this anymore, right? So this is your money that you paid me because of relating with this guy, this is how much that is remaining, I'll give it back to you. And then users are now angry, not only with him but with the brand now, because even the brand has not been delivering quality products for a while. So it has ripple effect. We are really devastated by the whole thing. And now the chain is Chromia, right? Chromia is a chain that we've been professing. The technology is good, is really good, right? But they've not delivered on products that we can interact with on an economic level. Their roadmap is basically now it's focusing on AI. Remember when we started, it was for gaming.
It was more of gaming.
It was more
gaming. The pitching is more of
it's moving
AI.
towards AI.
The investment is more.
We're not ruling out. We're not ruling out Chromia, right? It's just that give us dApps that we can use on an economic level. Not tell us, oh, go and play my neighbor Alice.
You know, as you said this, and we're not rolling out Chromia, it just reminded me of a comment someone made, I think a year ago, it should be 2024, early 2024, more than a year ago. Person said, let Chromia not go and become another Cardano.
See, I don't have a problem if Chromia becomes Cardano and have Cardano's FDV.
Well,
at least we'll be happy.
Yeah, actually,
right?
You have a point.
Or become another dot or polka dot.
Yeah, but the person was coming from the angle of utility. Yeah, we have lots of blockchains. We have a whole lot of blockchains. We have like blockchains with huge FDV.
Yeah, but nothing is happening on chain.
Huge trading volume. But see that their ecosystem.
Nothing is happening.
There is nothing happening.
There's a whole lot like that. A whole lot of.
In fact, the valuation of the blockchain is highly questionable.
Right.
We have lots of them. Like the valuation, like why is this thing sitting at $6 billion?
If it will benefit the early buyers,
why?
Guy, you know how long we've been holding Chromia for? More than 4 years.
Yeah, definitely.
We've been holding the CHRO token. So if CHRO ends up to be one of those, would I call it a ghost chain that maybe I don't know, maybe they are servicing a few multinationals or whatever.
Be one of the biggest losers actually.
Well, if it does that between now and let's say before mid this year, and it reach a valuation of let's even put conservatively $5 billion evaluation, guy.
Well, that's good.
With my money, with the money I go make I be the biggest loser. I don't get problem. So far as I've made that particular money, let me be. I don't know what else I'm losing. Okay, you might now start talking about
but that's
opportunity
actually,
costs.
That's actually a long shot.
No,
for them to be valued at $5 billion, it's easy, no doubt. That thing can happen in less than a month.
They can do that, but right?
We need to see action.
It's economic activity on chain.
Yes.
See other dApps building and their evaluation as like maybe 10 million FDV, 20 million. With that, people are okay. Take example AO. AO's chain is slow, but there's economic activity. You're seeing PermaSwap come out to say 24 hours trading volume.
You're seeing
on
transfer of value.
Yes, they are telling you 24 hours.
Some convertible stats.
Yes, 24 hours. We've been able to on this DEX. There's a trading volume of like $500,000. It's real people that are buying and selling different tokens.
You're seeing since inception.
Yes.
Some of the DEXs there have hit $8 million transaction volume.
It's
You're
like a
breached
fund. AOX is coming out to tell you the breached funds will breach some amount of volume. What was the name? AO Lotto, the lottery platform, is telling you, we've paid out the what was it called, lottery of like $5,000. Yes, it's being used. They are telling you that their pool, they have their treasury, they have like $3,000 in their treasury for people to win and all that stuff. These things are working. You're checking number of tokens on like real tokens that has value on dexes. You're seeing more than 15 tokens, right? There's no one dex. There's like 3 dexes working. There's a lending and borrowing platform that has gone live now, which is Liquid Ops. You can go and lend and borrow.
They have a native wallet,
right? There mustn't be too many tokens that you're trading on chain. But if there's economic activity that, okay, I can go and lend my AO. Someone that needs the AO to do whatever would borrow it and maybe deposit ST staked Ethereum as collateral. But there's economic activity. Someone can launch a dApp and be making small monies from fees. But there's nothing like that on Chromia.
That's a devastating stuff, actually.
It's like, okay, Chains of Alliance say, oh, I'm building on Chromia. You're building on Chromia, but your token is on Optimism. You want to launch token on Optimism. Choccy, before the shutdown, I'm building on Chromia, but your token is on Avalanche. Breaking, I'm building on Chromia. Your token is on Binance Smart Chain. My neighbor Alice,
and it has stayed too long. Yeah, we knew when Binance were building Binance Smart Chain, their token was on Ethereum.
It's understandable.
Before later,
right? They transferred the whole
so many blockchains. It's a similar thing.
It's a normal thing for them to do.
I think for that of Chromia, the process is 1, too slow. 3, the roadmap is always changing.
It's understandable that it's changing, but
there's very little.
They're not carrying community along.
There's very little value to extract from the chain. So these are the issues.
I think if Chromia sees this video, it's not only a rant. It's coming from a place of not only an investor or investors, but also community owners, community leaders whose members, whose friends are invested heavily on this chain. Because for us to be invested in this chain, we have seen the potential, we've seen the technology, we like the idea around it, and we've been patient enough. For 4 years. You're holding a particular token through the full circle, like you round tripped the money you made. You're looking at how this thing is going to launch. This thing works well. They didn't take profit because the chain is not yet live, and almost like 8 months after mainnet,
nothing is still.
There's no economic activity on
the
chain.
Happening on the chain,
right? So it's like, are these guys? Do these guys really want community, or
maybe it's an something enterprise else?
Probably even if it's an enterprise
chain.
I've forgotten his role. I've not forgotten his role, but I've forgotten the title. But the guy in charge of AI for Chromia, in one of his tweets, he's looking for devs that want to build AI. Guy, they have a $20 million fund for AI, so they need devs to come. How would these devs come when there is this notion now that the community members are tired waiting for Chromia to do something, right? This is not only price action, like let there be economic activity. Now the guys at Robin Market, because I've spoken with the guy, one of the guys at Robin Market, Vincent, right? They said they need incentive. They need testers, people that come and test their testnet and all that stuff. One of the first things that our community members are saying is, why are we going to go and do testnets? 1, there is no incentive. 2, even if there is an incentive, we do not trust Chromia. Not that we do not trust Robin Market.
We do not trust. Itself.
Yes, it's like okay, CEO. Experience we've had with Chromia and Chromia projects, which Chromia invested in, is their incentive is next to nothing, and we cannot even happily do it again because it's like we are not even appreciated, because there are chains that people are happy to go and even test things for free because
most
they know
times
that
when you even get the users, there's nothing to retain them there.
The thing is they are doing campaigns on different campaign platforms now. They are doing campaigns with OK, is it OKX or is it, I think it's OKX or Mexi, that I think XOOB is doing campaign with now. It's like, wait, don't you want economic activity on your chain? Do you want to go and list in a different platform, right? People are getting tired so much so that if you say you're launching on Chromia, they're uninterested to even know what your product is all about. It's getting to that point. So as a developer now, why should I leave maybe
other platforms?
Yes, change like
go and build on Chromia
even if you're looking for a growing ecosystem, so you grow with them. Why would I leave Ori chain that is also AI focused? Why would I leave AO that is even community focused and AI focused, and then come to Chromia where I even need to learn a new language, right? And then the community is even getting tired of the way this whole thing is being
the community is actually exhausted,
and this is a community that really believes in, guy, for a community to stick with you for like 4 years, you're supposed to have this kind of Cardano XRP kind of force, because these people are like, at some point they call it delusional, because they are there for you to hold the token 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
I think Chromia now, they have like a huge issue, because we all know how the crypto world works. If you're building a blockchain or a product but you don't have community, it's most likely not going to fly.
It's not going to fly, but Chromia has the community,
and they have not been paying attention to their community
at all.
They have not been given realistic timelines. They have not been given realistic time frame.
No, they've not.
They have failed multiple times.
Yes.
They have said multiple times, we'll do this thing within so and so period, and they shift it. It has happened not once,
and
not
it's
twice,
even
not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times.
Yes, with some Chromia projects that people, our community members now are predicting it, because when we said Nomisma is going to launch so date, most people said, let's see, that there are chances that they will shift it, and that is exactly what happened. They shifted it by 9 days.
They did shift it. So
by 9 days. The question is, why would you shift something that probably does not even involve any technical solution? You said season 1 is going to end today. So why are you shifting it by 9 days?
The funny thing is, we also saw XOB has done like a similar thing. It's like a pattern.
That's the thing.
It's a pattern in the chain that most of the projects, they are playing the same card.
And they keep trying to milk the community. XOB bringing in new gameplays.
Yeah, and the truth now is, for founders that have like a good initiative, a good project to build in that chain, if you go to a chain that is not yet ready, or they don't have like core values, they can frustrate you even if you want to build something solid.
That's the thing.
Which is why I also feel most of the projects now in crypto, they are trying to diversify. They are trying not to be based on one chain.
They are trying to be chain agnostic.
Yes, even the wallets, you see them supporting multiple chains
now. Yes,
even if they started with just one chain,
yes.
you see them branching out. You get, for example, look at PancakeSwap that started with Binance. They have started supporting multiple chains now. You look at Uniswap that started with Ethereum. They're supporting multiple chains. Look at Phantom, the wallet that started with Solana. They're now supporting multiple chains, because they understand that anything can go wrong in a particular chain, and for them to survive long term, they just have to diversify. Even DEXs they're even the ones that started this thing more, and they are the ones that have been doing it the most, and DEX aggregators, then before wallets and all, they have started doing it. So it's quite sad that a particular blockchain, even AO that we're referring to, we've seen there's a gaming project on AO that has left AO now, that wants to go and build on ICP.
No, that is April Fool though. Yeah. Because the guy said they want to move to ICP, and then they want to mint NFTs on Cardano. So
but then that one was actually a joke. But there are actually projects on AO that can't launch yet.
Sure.
Because of the chain is still highly
there are projects on
like very, very
AO
unstable.
that are also on other chains. Like I think is it Foreverland is
Yes,
on other chains, but
Yeah,
they're also
they are.
incorporating AO.
But moving forward, people need to understand, if you're jumping into the crypto ecosystem, you need to understand that most things happening there, like investment, there's a huge chance that you would lose all of your funds, especially when you have little to no experience. You can lose all of your funds. But the catch here now is, if a few projects perform really well, you can make times 10, times 15 of your entire capital. So that's where the experience comes in, and the perseverance comes in too, and the research, that's where it comes in. Next, jump into like airdrops. Airdrops have been pretty slow this period, but yeah, we do have some really, really interesting airdrops that I'll be talking about subsequently. We'll drop those videos, so be on the lookout for that. Kinto airdrop just rewarded its users a few days ago, and it was very poor. It was far less than what people expected, because people farmed Kinto with so much money.
Yeah,
you get, within for an extended period of time. And what they got was, some persons got 10% of what they used to farm it,
which is crazy.
Yeah, imagine you locked $10,000 in, let's say, as Bitcoin or so, and it's also lost some value for an extended period of maybe 6 months or thereabout, and you're getting like $800.
That means the guys, they farmed you.
You understand? So most persons were disappointed about the whole Kinto airdrop. And yeah, right now, in the bear market, or mini bear market as we call this one we're in now, most airdrops don't like launching tokens.
Yeah, they have to wait, except they are high because
of price action.
Because they want to make money too.
Yeah, most times you just, after launching, you'll see dumps upon dumps upon dumps. Most of the airdrops that launched November, December, their tokens are down bad.
Of course, now if you check Magic Key, then
most of them.
What was it called?
It's down bad. But yeah, there's an airdrop that our community has been engaged in that we're very, very hyped about. Hopefully by the time they will launch their token, the market should have recovered, as the AI Wayfinder project. So we discussed about
there's also Mind Network. I think Mind Network now, they just tweeted that they are taking their snapshot. So no, we farmed that token too. So let's see how that we farmed it, but though you started late, but let's see what comes out of Mind Network, because they really had good funding.
And for those wondering where we usually talk about most of these things, real time, it's in our community, which you can access on TG. The link is on the bio, so you can access it. We also discuss most of this stuff real time via Twitter Spaces that we organize on Twitter, and that's where we take like real-time questions. So just in case you've been hearing community and you've been wondering, we also still do hold clubhouse sessions, which we also discuss. So a whole lot happens in the community. If you really want to get involved, you have to find your way to the community. The link is in the description wherever you're watching this video, which are the social media platforms, so you can find the link there. Next, I'm talking about some stuffs we are buying, how we're trading the markets. And most persons, their portfolio has just been going from less or low to lower and lesser. They've just been losing value. And most persons have been wondering, is there any way to make money in this market this period? Well, personally, some of the things I've been doing is I've been focusing on those tokens that have little to no manipulations. You get, so personally talking about what I've been buying and have been trading in the market. So like the AO ecosystem, yes, I've made some real good returns on AO because there's little manipulation there and it is highly predictable. The price action, it's very, very, very predictable. So it's very good for swings. So you can easily swing out to make 80% to over 100% returns just by swinging, as long as you know where to get in and where to get out. So that's where like I've been doing some trades. And another one I would say, another stuff that I've been doing is Bitcoin. basically, not necessarily other altcoins.
No, it's features. No?
Yeah, features, trading Bitcoin and features. That has also been profitable because as long as you're not trying to catch every major swing high or swing low, you're just focusing on the key levels. For example, for the past few weeks, we've seen that Bitcoin has been ranging between 81k to at least 86k. It has done that like 3-4 times in about 5 weeks or thereabouts. So imagine someone that's just been focusing on that range until it goes below. You wait to see the next support. You can make some real good money there. Yeah, so personally, those are like some of the things I've been doing. Recently, I just bought apples too on
Yeah,
Evo
I got
at
apples.
2.5 M
Got
FDV.
apples myself around
Yeah.
2.8. I'm holding apples that are on the AO ecosystem.
And this is for swings. For those watching, this is
I'm
majorly
also
for
thinking
swings.
of even getting AO because AO itself has even dumped
It's at
to
$14.
around $14-15. So
Yeah.
maybe if I take a look at it between now and the weekend, I might decide to get more of the bag. One could probably make, once this whole thing settles,
Yeah.
maybe 50% to 100% on such trades. Well, it's like you said, it's basically just for swing. But what I try to tell people is you mustn't still trade the market, right?
No, you can stay out of the market.
Now, when we tell people stay out of the market, it's not like abandon crypto entirely, right? It's stay out of buying and selling, right? Rather, you can still focus on research. You can focus on knowledge finding. You can focus on skill building. You can focus on something else that is still within the ecosystem, because there are ways you can make money in this ecosystem regardless of price, right? Price is a speculative market, so price is very important in keeping the emotions very high, at least good emotions very high, right? But when you don't have those good emotions running high like we expect in a bull market, you can take out that time to learn, right? What is DeFi? What is CeFi? What is DeSci? What is AI agents? Like, you do those research, you gain those knowledge. Why is AI agents a big thing? What is the tech behind AI agents? Look at specific ecosystems. Like Ori has been talking about, they are having Ori EVM, and they also been talking about MCP. What are MCPs? That are powering AI, and it's now like the standard for building AI products and all that stuff. So those kind of research would help you gain knowledge that when a new product is in the market and they want to launch token, you can be like, this is trash, I don't want to put my money, even if it pumps. This is a risk because of the kind of knowledge I have. So this market, this is the kind of thing you can do in this market. Secondly, I'm farming, right? I'm not technically a farmer in terms of farming airdrop, but there are certain airdrops that you would hear about, or you perceive that these people, they are going to obviously have an airdrop, right? That you, in this period of maybe things are slow, double down on your farming, right? And see, okay, maybe before you were looking at this site once a day, maybe now you might be looking at it 3 times a day, depending on the kind of farming that those platforms are engaged in. So those are like the few things you can do. And I do understand that most of the times people, they've lost money, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So this urge of wanting to make it back, because maybe
that should be avoided at all costs.
This is what we call FOMO, right? FOMO is not only when things are pumping and people want to FOMO in. FOMO also can be that you lost money, and the small money in your hand now, you want to use it as fast as possible to make back something. So you now jump into almost anything that is listed. It might not necessarily be meme, it could be new projects that wants to launch, but because you've not done your due diligence on it the way you're supposed to do, you just go and put in money. Because we were, before we started the podcast, we were talking about one of the co-founders of Cardano launched. He lost money, I think 3 years ago. On
Celsius.
On Celsius.
Right? Celsius crash.
Yes, I think more than $38 million.
Yeah, approximately $40 million.
Yeah. So what did he do? He's launching blockchains and then rugging those blockchains.
He has launched currently about 3 blockchains that we are aware of.
Yeah, and people are calling him out on this third one that he wants to launch now. That he's still following the whole process of test nets and maybe airdrop and all that.
Raise funds.
Yes, raise funds and all that stuff. So it also goes to show that I'm not saying don't go and do testnet because you don't know whether the founders are roggers.
Yeah,
it's fine if you do testnets. There's a whole lot of pattern these days in token launches after testnet. But the moment you get your hands on your tokens, right, take some profit though. Yeah, because if you've noticed most of these testnets, some of them they perform well within the first 1 hour, and after that maybe they've sold you the dream of, oh, go and stake, you can buy nodes, you can do this, and you follow, and next you find out 3 weeks later token is almost at zero. You've lost your money.
It happens.
Because this mentality of airdrop is free, you did not do anything, it's not really true. You spent your time farming, you sat down, you spent data is money, right? You spent
invested so much time.
You spent time. Some of them are referral based, you talked about it, you held Twitter spaces, spent sometimes, maybe some people you did videos and all, so it's not really free, right? So if it launches, you can sell 50% of it. Let nobody shame you for taking profit, because these guys, this project now that he's launching, I wish I could find that.
Is it an incentive net?
It's incentive net that is launching, but the two that he has launched before were
DOP and Tommy.
And Tommy Pioneers. And he made, at least each of them, he probably made nothing less than $20 million each.
And it's so crazy that those projects can imagine, like DOP was launched and it was over $1 billion FDV. That project is below $5 million.
So that's people would have lost tens of millions of dollars.
So that's like insane, and most persons don't understand that this thing happens regularly in the blockchain space. The sad thing now is, if it was a black person that did this, you hear blacks, they scam a lot. If it was a Nigerian, you hear Nigerian projects cannot this, cannot that. But when you look at the foreign projects that end up like this guy, it's usually insane, because most times their valuations run into hundreds of millions of dollars, running into billions of dollars, and when they dump by 98-99%.
It cannot be recovered.
Nobody comes out to say anything most times. There's no stigma tied to them. You get most times. But if it's a black person or a Nigerian, you hear, Nigerians are scammers, their projects, they're always rogging people. But guy, which rog pass see you launch projects? The project got to almost $2 billion FGV, and now the project is barely.
I think the way they do it, there's a strategy to it, that sometimes you use the usual. It is
and then before you now talk of the fact that minting tokens.
There was one, he had to mint new tokens.
Minted more tokens, more than what you agreed. Now, those are the things now that make people call it like a scam. Like, why?
So now this is the explanation I'm looking at why most of the times people attack African projects and Nigerian projects. That this thing is scam. Is one, the way these guys designed this thing. This thing was listed on top exchanges. OKX, Bybit, and KuCoin or Mexi.
KuCoin, Mexi.
So it's not one person that is eating it. It's
all
not.
Tier 2,
it's not.
Tier 3
Yes,
exchanges.
it's not. It's a collaborative thing. So that's why it's going to go further. It's going to go far, because some of them, they're like top VCs involved. Because in one of the projects, they were saying one of the top VC was the one that pioneered the one of the seed rounds. So you can see that these guys are not thinking of small. Let's collaborate. Let's do this thing the big way.
But then again,
right?
It raises the question of: is it a rog? Is it a scam? Or is it a failed project?
It goes on to be failed project.
That's what they push it as.
Yes, because if you go to the site is still there. If you want to use the chain, it's usable, but it's just that only you go use it. Right?
There's no value.
There's no really value in it. If you go and check the accounts are still up. Maybe they are still tweeting random things that is not even of interest or even of value to even the chain itself. If you go and check the Telegram, it is still there. Just that maybe sometimes they still pay moderators to moderate the thing for people not to be posting links and talking trash in the channel. So you now wonder, is this thing, are you guys not building again, or what's going on? But you just know that this project is dead. And another thing is that founders and developers, they are not loud about it.
No, they are not.
$40 million don't go. Nobody is in your face or coming to Twitter to post quotes for you or telling you no. It's more like, okay, it's a failed project, it's a failed investment. But most in our own cases here is they don't delete Twitter. It don't go. Next thing, person where they are accusing is doing giveaway to people. So it's like, guy, this your project. What thing happened to this your project? You get, sometimes too is there is no explanation whatsoever.
Nothing whatsoever.
Like,
and sometimes and in most cases the product is not even working. Even if yes, there's no traction, you will not even see.
You don't even see one line of code. It's just maybe something.
So which makes it look like from the onset it
was the intention. It was designed to rug you. Like they thought about it and they said, we go rug you, and we are looking for foolish people that will believe in this thing and will rug you. So I'm not justifying what this guy has done. He lost money, and then the best way for him to do it to start, making because blockchains are the ones that will make people invest, like investors to come and say, okay, yes, But in crypto, it's easy for you to tell people, invest what you can afford to lose. Invest what you can afford to lose. Take profit. People by now understand these things. Sometimes there is no amount of investment, there's no amount of research that you can do
that
will be enough. It can be anything, right, that can terminate that project. It can be that this thing is a high level orchestrated scam. The product would work. In fact, we saw what happened with FTX.
Yes.
Workers were working, they believed in it. They didn't know that the founders there's nothing again remaining in this product.
They didn't know that he was just.
Yes, some of them were even pushing the brand, putting themselves out there, putting themselves in harm's way.
I think for FTX, the founder failed the entire team.
Yeah, so it happens like that in some of these things, that you can be the technical person that can build out things, right? You are coordinating the teams, but the founder is a very charismatic, but is a very cunning person, and you had no idea. And this is what he does. He brings up smart people, influences them, and then rogue. So you now, the brains or whatever, technical guy, once this thing happened, you might be thinking of a way to salvage the system, but you can't salvage it. And then the guy has moved on to another project to repeat the same thing, and he's well connected.
It's quite sad.
It's the nature of things now.
It can be very, very brutal.
Mm-hmm.
You get most of those things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot has been happening in the market, and a lot is still happening in the market. There'll be a lot we'll discuss in the next episode. We'll talk about more rogues, certain projects that you should be able to avoid, and also how to position yourself. For those watching, we are coming up with a lecture soon, free lecture. We'll drop that in a separate video where we'll talk about it. So you need to join the community if you haven't, or if you aren't in it yet. If you're not active, try and be active. The last lecture we did was late 2024, and so many persons benefited from it, and we did say that will be organizing another lecture later in 2025. So we're coming up with that sooner or later. So you guys just need to keep your ears out there for the information. And once again, thanks to all those that watched. Please, if you have comments, don't forget to leave your comments and we'll respond. If you have certain things you want us to talk about, please feel free to reach out. And don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to join the community. Thanks guys, and see you guys in the next episode.
The 22nd episode. Bye.